I didn't set out to be a hero that day.
I was just a salvage pilot trying to make enough credits to keep my ship flying another month. The distress signal came from the outer debris belt of Karen 9, a region most sane captains avoided. Old war wrecks drifted there, shattered cruisers, abandoned stations, mines that still armed themselves decades after the fighting ended. The kind of place where scanners lied and luck ran out fast. But distress signals paid well. I found her inside what remained of a research outpost, its hull split open like a cracked shell. Emergency lights flickered weakly, painting everything in sickly red. Atmosphere was barely holding. Radiation levels were climbing. She was pinned beneath a collapsed support beam, her breathing shallow, one arm slick with dark, shimmering blood that definitely wasn't human. Alien. I swore under my breath and rushed forward anyway. Easy, I said, activating my cutter to lift the beam just enough to drag her free. You're going to be fine. Her eyes fluttered open, large, luminous, and unmistakably not human. Violet irises, slit pupils. Fear flashed across her face, followed by something else. Relief. You came, she whispered, her voice soft but strangely commanding. Yeah, I replied, hauling her onto my shoulder. Couldn't exactly ignore the signal. I carried her back to my ship, sealing the hatch just as the outpost's remaining structure finally gave way. The station vanished in a silent bloom of debris behind us. In the medbay, my autodoc struggled to adapt to her physiology, but I stayed with her, applying pressure, adjusting settings manually. I'd patched up enough aliens in fringe systems to know the basics. Different blood color. Different pain responses. Same need to live. She survived the night. When she woke, she tried to sit up too quickly and hissed in pain.
Don't, I said gently.
You've got at least 3 cracked bones and blood loss. You're safe. For now. She studied me intently, then inclined her head in a formal gesture I'd seen once before in diplomatic feeds. Thank you, human, she said. You saved my life. Just doing my job, I replied, uncomfortable. What's your name? There was a pause. Brief, but deliberate. Lyra, she said. That will do. That should have been my first warning. Over the next 2 days, she recovered faster than expected. Too fast. By the 3rd day, she was walking the corridors of my ship, graceful despite her injuries, observing everything with keen interest. She asked questions. About humans. About Earth. About how independent pilots operated beyond centralized governments. You live without hierarchy? She asked once, genuinely curious. We have hierarchy, I said with a shrug. We just argue with it a lot.
She smiled at that.
A small, knowing smile. It was easy to forget where I'd found her. Easy to see her as just another traveler who'd had bad luck. We shared meals. Talked about stars we'd seen. For a while, it almost felt normal. Until the patrol ships arrived. 3 of them. Black hulls, gold markings, Imperial design. My sensors screamed warnings as they dropped out of fold space directly in our path. Unidentified vessel. A voice boomed across comms. Power down and prepare for inspection. I froze. Those ships belonged to the Aurelian Empire, an expansionist power known for one thing above all else.
They did not ask.
Lyra, I said quietly, already calculating escape vectors. We've got a problem. She stepped beside me at the viewport, her posture straightening, her expression changing. The softness vanished, replaced by something cold and ancient. Yes, she said calmly. It seems they found us. Found us? You know them? I asked. She turned to face me fully. That was when she spoke the words that shattered everything. You don't know who I am, do you? My stomach dropped. What do you mean? I demanded. She took a slow breath. When she spoke again, her voice carried authority that made my skin prickle. My full name is Lyra Aurelian Valketh, first heir to the Aurelian throne. The room felt suddenly very small. You're the princess? I whispered. The Empress's daughter, she corrected. And, until recently, her designated successor. My mind raced. Imperial patrols. A destroyed research outpost. A distress signal in forbidden space.
You were running, I said.
I was exiled, she replied quietly. Left to die. That station was never meant to save me. The comm channel crackled again. Final warning. Comply or be destroyed. I laughed, short, sharp, disbelieving. You realize they'll kill me too, right? I said. Humans aren't exactly popular with your empire. Lyra met my gaze, and for the first time, I saw something like regret in her eyes.
Yes, she said.
Which is why I will not let them take me. Before I could respond, she moved. Fingers flying across my console with impossible speed, activating systems I didn't even know my ship had. What are you doing? I shouted. Using the authority you unknowingly granted me by saving my life, she said calmly. The ship's core surged. Power levels spiked beyond safe limits. You upgraded my vessel? I stared. I unlocked it, she replied. Your people build ships with remarkable potential. You simply never finish them. The patrol ships opened fire. We vanished. Fold space wrapped around us like a clenched fist, tearing us free from reality. My ship screamed in protest, alarms blaring, but Lyra stood steady, one hand braced against the console, eyes glowing faintly. When we emerged, we were light years away, deep in unclaimed space. I collapsed into my chair, breathing hard. You could have told me, I said bitterly. She turned to me slowly. If I had, would you have saved me? I didn't answer, because I didn't know. Days passed as we drifted. Repairs. Silence. Tension thick enough to choke on. Finally, Lyra approached me in the observation deck, Earth-like stars reflected in the glass. I never thanked you properly, she said. You did, I replied, before I knew the truth. She shook her head. Not for choosing me. She explained then how the empire was rotting from within, how her mother ruled through fear and stagnation, how Lyra had questioned it and paid the price. I don't want a throne, she said softly, but if I don't take it, nothing will ever change. I stared at the endless stars. So you need a human pilot to help you overthrow an empire, I said flatly. She smiled faintly. I need someone who saved a stranger without asking who she was. Silence stretched between us. In the end, my answer surprised even me. Set a course, I said. Let's change things. Ending. Months later, the galaxy would remember that moment as the beginning of the Aurelian Reformation. With evidence Lyra smuggled from the research outpost and human-backed broadcasts exposing Imperial corruption, entire sectors revolted. Fleets defected. Systems declared independence. When Lyra finally stood before the Imperial Council, she did not wear a crown. She wore simple clothing, and she stood beside a human. I was grateful when he saved me, she told the galaxy. But he is the reason I remember who I truly am. The empire did not fall overnight, but it changed. And as for me, I never did get rich. But I helped save a princess who didn't want to rule, and in doing so, helped an empire learn how to be human.